To accomplish anything in the NBA requires far more than just two guys, but duos are more popular than trios in today's league. And there's a unique, hype-honed spot in the pantheon of the league's greatest 1-2 punches for younger duos. They may not always be the frontrunners in the short term, but they are, in theory, harbingers of things to come. Take Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, for instance. They are the light at the end of the tunnel for some. Others see them as harbingers of long-term viability. They're young, therefore they're not going anywhere, you know? And other times, they're merely two incredibly strong players who happen to create a dynamic worthy of poetic elaboration. This exercise will focus on duos when each member is in their age 24 or younger season. Anyone over the age of 25, such as Jaylen Brown, who turned 25 in October, has graduated from the sub-25 debate. Please do not inquire about him. Only this season would be considered for establishing a pecking order. And while everything that has happened thus far has influenced where each couple stands, the final product seeks to answer the following question. Which duo should we want for the rest of the year? Coming in at number 10, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves' Anthony Edwards and Jarrett Vanderbilt. Edwards' shot-making prowess has no bounds, and he's combining it with more consistent heights and improved playmaking recognition. This position is really determined by a non-flashy sidekick. Please feel free to substitute Jaden McDaniels. He's a possessed defender. Vanderbilt, on the other hand, is definitely just as fiercely, if not harder and arguably maniacally. He's like ecstasy on a prescription. He simply lacks the starry unknownness of other second wheels. Coming in at number 9, we have Oklahoma City Thunder's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey. It was difficult to place Oklahoma City's duo above Minnesota's. Gilgeous-Alexander should be chosen over Edwards, but does Giddey beat Vanderbilt? Better yet, does Giddey take over for Lou Dort? Or how about Darius Bazley? Dort might make more sense right now. Giddey, on the other hand, has a larger potential due to his passing, finishing, and in-between touch. In any case, the Thunder aren't going to get any higher than number 9 for this time being. In the number 8 spot, we have the Toronto Raptors' OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes. Barnes' readiness is both a surprise and a license to be ambitious. Strangers remark on the lack of a three-point shot. Smart people applaud his 46.2% mid-range clip. It's criminal that he isn't averaging more assists. He has hesitation techniques built into his handling, and his floor awareness is impeccable. Anunoby, who is presently out with a hip injury, has demonstrated enough ball skills and directionality to make you wonder whether the number 8 place isn't ambitious enough. No other duo on this list provides greater collective defense. Barnes' inexperience and little off-the-dribble jump shot energy are the only things holding them back. In the number 7 spot, we have the Sacramento Kings' De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton. The principle of the benefit of the doubt is at work here. To begin the season, Fox has had one of the league's worst high-volume players. That shouldn't be the case because Fox isn't among the league's worst high-volume players. Despite his shot selection issues, he has the ability to take over games with his raw speed and quick reads. Halliburton is, to be honest, pretty good at almost everything. He's not hitting nearly as many in-between shots as he used to and is prone to settling on occasion, but he's still a two-way player. Coming in at number 6, we have the Boston Celtics' Jason Tatum and Robert Williams III. Tatum will have the detractors because of his shot selection, which tends to stall out before the basket, and his recent three-point slump. Fine, to bet against him for the remainder of the year is still insane. He's a genuine offensive powerhouse who is underappreciated for his all-round defense. Williams is not a throwaway inclusion who is entirely supported by Tatum. He's more of a supporting actor than a star, yet he is far from a specialist. When he's focused in, his defense stretches beyond the free throw line, and few play-finishing pigs are as adept at spraying split-second passes to orbiting shooters. RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley of the New York Knicks are also being considered, as are Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets, Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart of the Detroit Pistons, Tyrese Maxey and Matisse Thybulle of the 76ers, and Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell of the San Antonio Spurs. Coming in at number 5, we have the Cavaliers' Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. If you must, argue over the makeup of this couple. Darius Garland could be benched in favor of Jared Allen, who has improved his offense beyond rim runs and hook jumpers with deft passes and more downhill movements. Making that switch will have no effect on the ranking. Also, as the primary ball handler, Garland wields more power on the offense. That has the court for something. He's never looked better in that role either. He's more composed in the half court, able to maneuver opponents with his patience, and a functional outside shot and floater. His 18.6 points and 7.2 assists come despite hitting 54.7% of his two-point attempts. Evan Mobley's inclusion is unaccessible. His offense is still in the works, but he has a good touch off the dribble, 360-degree vision, and clairvoyant anticipation. His three-point experimentation will pay off in the long run. Then there's the Mobley argument. He's ubiquitous, incarnate, and positionless. Although the Cavaliers have him running around the perimeter like a pseudo-wing, only 5 players have contested more total shots at the rim. This duet is already famous, yet it isn't even finished. In the number 4 spot, we have the Charlotte Hornets' LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges. Where would this doublet be if it weren't for Miles Bridges' pursuit of most improved player honors? Probably not in the top 10, and certainly not in the top 5. Bridges' statistical explosion should not be dismissed because of declining efficiency. His 19.7 points and 3.2 assists per game aren't the result of a lack of volume. They arrive in the midst of a more difficult, conspicuous position. This season, he has gone unaided on more than 32% of his made baskets. This has increased from 24.6% in 2020 to 2021. Pull-up jumpers now account for over 19% of his tries, up from 16.7% from last year. The Charlotte Hornets have increased his post volume, and his effective field goal percentage of 52, while significantly lower than it was in 2020, it is still higher than the league's average of 51.8. LaMelo Ball has the potential to carry the majority of the stock through Bridges' developmental curve. He's the result of the union of flash and substance. The overreactions he incites from the defense are unfathomable. His ability to profit off collapses and general chaos is practically unprecedented, and he works impossible angles to pile up dimes. League Pass fans should appreciate him for injecting flair into every pass, including what should have been unremarkable two-handed pitches. LaMelo's Achilles heel is finishing around the rim. He needs to put up more of a fight when defending one-on-one. As he gains strength, he should improve in both areas. For the time being, he can only get by with three-pointers of various kinds and get the hang-time dunk floater. If he and Bridges are left alone, they have a very good grip on a top 5 berth. Coming in at number 3, we have the Memphis Grizzlies' Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Ja Morant and Jaden Jackson Jr. are a unique pair, already creating waves but not yet at the pinnacle of their abilities. Morant has a little further he can do to improve his partnership. After leaving his feet, he remains the most electrifying athlete to watch, a highlight reel of passes, dunk attempts, and real dunks. However, he is now a viable scoring danger at all levels. Defense can no longer go under screens and expect him to miss three-pointers. Following a blazing start, he slipped up to 35.6% from beyond the arc, but his desire to fire away is its own type of pressure. He also keeps a menacing floater in his back pocket. Jackson's progress will necessarily shift this duo ceiling, both now and in the future. It's an unsettling reality at times, but not right now. After a rocky start, he has settled into a more consistent way of life. In his last 15 games, he's averaged 16.5 points and 2.3 blocks while making 38.6% of his three-point attempts. His self-created attacks can be as random as a coin toss, but he appears to be more at ease in control dribbling and spinning through traffic. This speaks nothing about his defensive progress. He's not fouling as much lately, and he's smoothly switching between both ends of pick and rolls, composing himself in space. Morant's star began to rise a long time ago. Jackson could be on his way. Coming in the number 2 spot, we have Miami Heat's Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro. Though Bam Adebayo transports the star power component of Miami Heat's sub-25 tandem, Tyler Herro's massive leap propels it into the best of the league territory. Its case for the top slot would be considerably better if Adebayo wasn't scheduled to miss 4 to 6 weeks due to thumb surgery. Herro has improved on what was a solid 2020 to 2021 season, moving into the area of the favorite win 6th man of the year, and the purple celebrity that comes with it. He's averaging 21.7 points and 3.7 assists per game, while hitting 49.2% of his twos and 39.8% of his threes. His ability to knock down difficult shots is legitimate, and it compensates for dwindling volume around the hoop. He's hitting more than 51% of his mid-range shots and 37% of his pull-up triples, which puts him in the top 5 among players averaging at least 4 off-the-dribble threes per game. It's worth noting that he's still only 21 years old. Adebayo's celebrity is more established. The 24-year-old is still a remarkable playmaker. Combining his intelligent inner game with an excellent touch from mid-range, his assists are down, but he continues to pass teammates open from a standstill while moving. Those who mock his lack of typical rim protection should take a deep breath. He spends too much time guarding away from the basket to make any sense of it, and his all-defense case is indefinite. Between him and Herro, the Heat have a youthful core that is ready to compete now and prosper in the future. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have the Atlanta Hawks' Trae Young and John Collins. Without any opposition, John Collins and Trae Young take the top spot. Theirs is a dynamic that has already propelled them into the Eastern Conference Finals and, more significantly, isn't at all one-sided. Young, without a doubt, strengthens their case as the undisputed best player on a title team material. His superstardom only strengthens by the endurance of adjusted officiating. His effort has not been diminished by his concentration of unorthodox aggressive actions. His 26 points per game are buoyed by dead-eye precision beyond the arc and mid-range, and he remains one of the league's finest passers, with a doctorate in tossing lobs and threading needles. Meanwhile, Collins' utility is more widespread than ever. He's still an effective screener and a dangerous floor runner who's gotten better at passing on the move. But he doesn't have to be the primary pick setter to make an impression. He has the ability to dot the arc, duck in for receptions around the rim, create post positions, and even throw the ball on the floor. Collins' defense used to be defined by cynicism. It no longer does. In virtually every manner possible, he is superior. Slotting him at the 5 is still a stretch, but he can hold his own away from the hoop and is a dependable helper and rim protector. Opponents are shooting 56% against the rim, which is roughly 8 points lower than the league average of 63.7. No other combo achieves this level of instant celebrity, neither is someone in the works. Right now, Young has the ability to headline a contender. Collins is now making an all-star case, and as a result, they are currently ranked first. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Tip Top Sports, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.